Hi there, welcome back to the channel. This is just an update video. I won't add it to the playlists of Series 2. Just thought I'd give you an update what's going on and what the next project is going to be. So, the current car, which is the Silver Cobra, is away, still being painted. Hasn't made it to the trimmers yet. And I'm really not expecting that for about 5 weeks or so, which is just as well because I took the opportunity to take the kids skiing and I came back with a broken wrist. So that usually takes 5 or 6 weeks to fix. I guess we're just over a week into that now. So I've got a fair bit of mobility in the hands and stuff, but obviously it's not weight bearing, etc. So I guess that's fallen quite fortuitously in that I haven't got a car to work on. Although the next project was due to arrive in 2 weeks, which I've now put back. So what is the next project? Well, I've tried really hard to do something different. I've contacted AK and looked at their GT40, and although it'd be a bit of a tight squeeze in the garage, I really wanted to do it. But adding up everything, it really needed the Coyote engine and the intakes and everything, and I just couldn't make it. It's looking at over 70 grand easy, and that's with a basic paint job. I also looked at Ultima. You're meant to be able to build one of those for a price of a basic BMW M3 Sport or something, and the basic list is quite within reach, but all the add-ons, or quite a lot of the add-ons, are necessary. So I couldn't quite reach the Ultima either. Although to be honest, that probably would have come out just slightly less than the GT40. But then that might have been doing it a disservice. That would have been with an LS3 engine, I think, and really you want to get up into the LT engines and get as powerful as you can. Otherwise, it's not really worth doing. So, as I'm just out of reach, I think I'm going to have to do another Cobra and see if I can make a little bit more money and maybe do something, do a different project after this one. So, yes, another Cobra is coming. I've just put it off because I can't work on it right now. And it's not a commission. It's for me, but I can't keep it in this garage. So basically, it's for sale straight away. And I guess before I get it painted, if anyone wanted to buy it, they can choose their own paint job and interior and everything else. But as it stands, I'm going to be doing the classic Viking blue with Wimbledon white stripes, bit of chrome on it, only a single roll bar, side exhausts, and we're going to do a few different things. So what else can I do to it to make it a bit different? All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is increase the engine size. So it's going to be the next up in the LS3 range, which is the from 430 brake horsepower to 495 brake horsepower. So that should make it just a little bit more tasty and a bit more exciting out on the road. So looking forward to installing that engine. It should be pretty standard with all the same kind of connections and everything. It's just got a better cam in it, I understand. So that will be good. What else are we going to do to it? Well, I'm going to contemplate doing a really subtle stereo. We're not going to be putting any Alpine system in there, and I know there's a few haters in there. You should only be listening to the V8 rumble, and maybe you can't hear a stereo over it. Well, I can tell you that you can hear a stereo over it, and on those long journeys, you might want to just listen into some tunes or something, even if it's just through some earbuds, etc. But I've had a fair bit of experience with installing stereos, so it's going to be a really small little unit. Literally, this unit is about 3-4 inches wide. Just place it in the back of the glove box area. You can tune it into a radio. You can Bluetooth to your phone and play tunes through that. It's got a card slot as well, so you can put in a little 16 gig card with your MP3s on it, etc. So that's kind of like the little head unit, and that'll go to a small amp, and there are numerous places to put speakers that are unobtrusive or unseen. So behind the seats, behind the leather, there'll be a couple of mid-range speakers, 8-inch or something. You won't see them at all. It'll be through the leather, probably perforated leather to help the sound go through. To be honest, it's quite thin material anyway, so that'll be right behind your head. There's nice little triangle areas down in the bottom left, bottom right areas where we could be putting some 6-inch speakers, and they'll be firing upwards. So that'll do that. And I can trim those really nicely, and you won't really even see them having black grills, etc. The only speakers that you might see or will see are the tweeters. Now, I know that Alpine do a nice 1-inch tweeter, no graphics or logo on it. It's just a nice little domed tweeter, quite powerful. And, because it's a tweeter, it doesn't need to be really screwed down hard or anything, or fixed hard. It could actually be double-sided taped to somewhere. Or perhaps I can put it just behind a bit of the perforated dash covering or something. And it's just obviously got a bit of wire coming out of it. So there's numerous options. And I think we can put that in quite subtly and even make it fairly removable if no stereo was wanted, by the buyer. So I think that'll be quite good, and it'll just give an opportunity. You can hear some traffic announcements if it's linked to your phone, sat nav or something. You can listen to some tunes. You can definitely hear it when you're just cruising along at 70 or 80 without the big burble of the exhaust roaring away. You're just cruising along in the higher gear, and you'll definitely be able to hear a bit of a few sounds on your way to Stoneleigh or Brands Hatch or somewhere for the annual meetups. So I think that might be quite good. So we'll see how that goes. And as for other options, I'm trying to see if we can maybe do something different with the fog and reverse lights. Maybe make have some circular LEDs instead of having to cut a large square out for those. Not really sure yet. And what else? I'm going to be doing jack lifters. But I'm going to take measurements from the current front and rear nudge bars so that the holes are kind of in the correct place in case jack lifters weren't required and these nudge bars were wanted to be fitted. So I think that'll make sense. And actually, if I make a little template of that, then it might aid in putting the holes into the body anyway. So quite looking forward to that. All right then, so the final thing we're going to redesign is the heater unit. Now, I really like the current heater unit. I like the extra sort of bling it adds in the engine bay with the silver ducting, etc. But I must admit, it's a bit of a faff and quite a lot of work to sort of put that in. And also you have to think that those intakes into the ducting, they need to be trimmed in the passenger and driver's compartments. So you need to trim round those intakes as well. So it all adds to a bit more complexity and a little bit more work. So what we're going to do is actually do away with that. I'm going to make the heater box about 1 inch wider each side so that it can draw the air in down the side of the heater from behind the dash. And obviously it'll still expel the air through the front and up through the ducting and demist the windscreen and everything else. So I plan to make the measurements for that, and I'll put the measurements on my website, etc. But obviously I can't start making any measurements until the new kit arrives. I don't want to make it incorrectly. So that's really exciting. And that's it really. So I can't wait to get started with the new kit. I'm not bored yet of building Cobras or AK Cobras. I just love wrenching away. Still going to put everything into it and be very diligent and careful in the build, and to hopefully make a decent build in a classic style. Certainly the blue and white stripe Cobra is something that I was looking at buying before I decided to build one. So I think that would be quite nice. There's not an awful lot of them around. A lot of people are putting Cobras out in these Larry colours, and I've got to say, all the Cobras look awesome in whatever colour they are. But I think it'd be nice just to go back to a slightly more you know, classic style. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure what the next video will be. Maybe I'll be surprised and the current car comes back more quickly than I was expecting. We can load it all back up, rebuild it all, take it for IVA, and that'll be a great video. Or maybe I'll be in a good position to take on the kit in 4 or 5 weeks, and we can start series 3 with that. Or I think I might do another video on the current series for what to think about and remember during your build, because there's quite a few things that you're like, oh, wish I'd realised that before I did whatever. So I think that might be the next video coming out, and hopefully I'll give you some tips there with some examples, etc., etc. So I'll see you again.